Dory here. I wanted to tell you the story of my why. Some people have heard this story, and I wanted to be able to be clear with this. When I was suddenly left single in 1987, and I had my 4 children. The oldest was 5, and the youngest was 6 weeks. And if you want to hear this story or know more about the story, you watch the Netflix documentary, Murder Among the Mormons, and you can have more detail about that. This video is not about that. But I felt lost. I felt I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt unloved. I felt no value. It didn't matter. And I had those 3 questions that I didn't know the answer to. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? Those 3 questions. I was very unclear about what the answers were, and I felt lost. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I even liked. And so I began to have a journey of what is it? What colors do I like? What clothes do I like? What foods do I like? What activities do I like? What music do I like? And I started to explore all of these areas. One place that I had been aware of was that I liked alternative health. And I had been intrigued by it. I knew a little bit about it, but mostly it was something that was unknown to me. And so I began at this point to pursue a discovery of alternative health. And there was a health food store that was close by that I could go over and look at the different products they had. I could sign up for different free classes and see what I enjoyed. And that's one place I began to discover. And I would look at books. I'd get books in the library. I started to read and started to explore the alternative health. And as the days passed, and as I began to work on healing myself, and talking to people, and what did I need, and how did I need to get back on my feet and find out who I am, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. I had all these areas that I was needing to work on. And I began to do more and more study with that. And I began to be intrigued by Reiki, and that was the first thing. That was 1997. I began to be intrigued by Reiki and looking at what I wanted to learn about. I wanted to know more about it. I began to go to different practitioners and have sessions and explore that. And that was the first thing that I stepped into. And the Reiki, when I did my Reiki class, it was so profound for me. That was one of the most profound things I've ever done in my life. Being able to work with energy, being able to have a high frequency energy in the palms of my hands, being able to bring in healing, bring in relief, pull out pain. There's all kinds of things you can do with Reiki that's really amazing. And Reiki works on your essence, your spirit, but it also works on the physical body. It also works on your mind. It raises the frequency of your food. There's so many things that you can do with Reiki, and that was so empowering for me. And having been feeling victimized like a victim, feeling like I had no power, and this was something that really, really changed my life. After I took that Reiki class, I realized I really wanted to help people. I really wanted to do business. I wanted to be helping people, doing sessions. And at that time, I had come into my mind that doing massage, and I ended up rejecting that. No, I don't want to do massage. Why do I want to do that? But the idea persisted. The prompting persisted. And so I ended up starting to look, and I went through every single school that was in Utah. And at that time, there was a lot of schools around. There was a lot of massage schools. Went through each and every one of them, checking in, using my intuition, using prayer, which one is the right one for me, and the answer was there was none. And so I thought, okay, what's up with that? So I put it aside. And then one day I met a gentleman who told me that he was going to be starting a training with a woman that had been on an LDS mission. and she was just back in town. And so I thought, oh, there's some energy about that. There's some lights about that. And that's what I have learned through my journey and of my past, is really paying attention to the energies, paying attention to what seems to be moving me, or what neons around me. There's different words for that, the different ways to explain it, but there's energy there. There's something there that I need to look further. And so I went in and talked with her, and it felt right to do that training. And she was teaching lymphatic massage as well as aesthetics, using the lymphatic massage with the facial massage with that. And I looked at that. It felt really right to do, and I ended up very quickly having the money come together. And that's always been a good measuring point for me, is what happens with the money. How does that come together? If it's something that comes together quickly or not. So that was my next thing that I did, and I ended up a year later being a licensed massage therapist and a certified esthetician. At that point, you didn't have a licensing for aesthetics, and actually I ended up being part of that licensing process and being part of putting together what the test was and the different things that then at that point I became licensed when that was all put together. My next foray was into the hypnosis, and that was something that it was suggested to me that I needed to do hypnosis. I was working in it with the group, and it was something that my business partner felt like I needed to have, and that was something I again resisted, and I didn't really want to do that. But as I realized I told her, I said, "You're going to keep bugging me till I do this," and she says yes. And so I thought, well, I've been resisting in the past. I'm going to stop that and just jump in there. And so we did a training together. There was 4 of us that did a training together, and we became certified with hypnosis through the National Guild of Hypnotists. And each of these modalities, the Reiki I really loved. I found that I was really good at that. Then I did the massage, and I found out that I loved that, and I was really good at that. The aesthetics, I really loved that, and I found I was really good at that. And now I have hypnosis, and as I stepped into it very cautiously initially, I found that I was really good at that, and I really liked working with that. And then at that same year, it was the year 2000, I trained in a technique called palm therapy with Moshe Zhuang, and that was absolutely amazing. And it's not something that's that known that much. There are books out there on it. Moshe has passed away, but that was amazing technique, and it very quickly releases emotions. It very quickly helps people feel a different way, and I love that. And as I was looking at that, when I have a client come in, do I have them do palm therapy? Do I have them do hypnosis? I couldn't choose. I couldn't decide. I didn't want to have them do one or the other. And so I ended up integrating it together so that there's no lack, there's no loss. Each of my clients have access to both of those healing therapies, and it was pretty amazing to learn that. It was very amazing to learn that. One of the things that came into my life after that was the Shungite, and my business partner and I, we were talking and looking at online. There was a lot of energy about the EMF, electromagnetic frequency, and how damaging that can be, and if things hit the earth, what can happen. There was a lot of fear-mongering and some things, and we looked at that, and I remember coming home and asking in my heart, because I know the source of my answers. I know that I can go into that source, go direct to that source, go direct to God, or whatever words you want to call that infinite intelligence. That's one thing that was one of my lessons that I learned. One of the things through my experience with my then husband was learning how to do that, and I got really good at listening. So I walk home to my apartment, and I'm asking, well, what can we do? There was no answers. That the solutions that were on the internet weren't really good, viable solutions. And I remember hearing turn on Wolf Spirit Radio, and Wolf Spirit Radio was an internet radio station. It's not there now. That had a lot of different alternative ideas, a lot of alternative things on there. And so I turned it on, and right then, in that moment, there was a woman talking about shungite. And I contacted her, and we began using the shungite. And this right here is shungite, this right here. It attenuates the Wi-Fi, meaning that it does not affect the body in the same way. That doesn't change the Wi-Fi, it doesn't change how that's working, but it attenuates it so that it's not affecting the body. And I have seen the live blood tests in the 90s. I did learn how to do a live blood test where you poke your finger with a little lancet, you put it on a slide, and you look into it with a specific microscope, and you can see what the blood cells are doing. And it's a good way to test if things are working, if certain therapies or certain techniques you're using, how they're affecting the blood. And there was a definite, distinct difference before and after with the shungite, and I knew that was my answer. So that particular one came to me. In 2020, I was at a crisis in my life, and I was ending the 21-year group business that I was in, that I had co-founded. And I knew that I wanted to be on my own, and I didn't know if I could. I was having some serious medical symptoms, and I was asked again, what can I do? What is it that can help me? And I was introduced to Engage Global Microdaily, and that is an amazing product. It's helping my body not only to feel good, function, but to heal. It's over time, as I'm using the products, it's helping my body heal. Then after that point, I was having surgery, and I got introduced to the Avacen, and having surgery on my face. Those that remember that, I got introduced to the Avacen and had my surgery, and then began to use the Avacen and had an amazing experience with that. So that's another thing that I now offer. So I have been through since 1997, and since actually before that, because I was drawn to research and look at the alternative health. I was given a map, and I just started following my map. And it's like an explorer. When they were doing exploring in the 1700s or other times, they would draw the area, and then it'd be this blank area, and then when they would research that or explore that, then they could draw that part. That's really what happened with me. I was step by step, I was given my map, and I don't know exactly where that will end. It may continue. I did recently felt really drawn to the Napoleon Hill Institute. I've been helping people with manifesting their dreams and using those principles, but I wanted to know more, and I wanted to be accredited with that training, and so I stepped into that about a year and a half ago. And it's been a marvelous wow, so that I find myself having wow every step of the way, having a wow. And I love that I'm living a wow life. I really am living a wow life, and it's just amazing. And that, to this point, has been my journey. And I haven't always appreciated every moment of it, but looking back, I've loved every moment of it, because I know it's helped me learn and grow. And I just am thrilled with what I can offer and how I can help people, and the different techniques and modalities, and also the understanding that I have been given through the teachings that I have, that can really help people be on their own team, be there for them, being able to find their own map, their own purpose. And that is what I'm here for, is to help people be fully able to do what they came to do, to be fully able to do what they're here to do, and to release what's ever in the way, releasing the trauma or the hesitations, and assisting in stepping into with confidence and with intuition, so that each person I work with knows what they're to be doing and what is right for them. So that is my why. I love it. I now can help people. I'm now helping people answer the questions, and there's 4 questions now. Why am I? Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? And the 4th question is, where do I want to go? Putting you in the driver's seat. Where do I want to go? being able to answer those questions, knowing that they matter, knowing that they are good enough, knowing that they're here for a reason, knowing that they have a purpose, and that is what I do, and it is something that is just so thrilling every day to know that this is what I get to do every day, and I love it. And I will, if anything else shows up, I'll be happy to step into it, and it's just getting better and better. Life is just getting better and better, and it's really is amazing. And I love life, and I love helping people, and I'm just so happy to be here. So when you want to change your story, call Dory.